would fill the room. We would all be still by your melody, and now your voice is gone, and to the sea belongs all of the gentle songs that you have heard. And soul, how could you leave us? You've not been lost at sea. You're only wandering. And soul, we sing your melodies and send them out to sea. You know harmony. They say before you left to seek your destiny, that older voices call and drown your laughter. But I believe you knew what you would have to be, a beacon in the storm to guide us from laughter. And soul, how could you leave us? You've not been lost at sea. You're part of everything. And soul, we sing your melodies and send them out to sea. You know the I want to keep this talk short because there are many other people here to speak, and there's only so many hours in a day. The first thing I want to do is dedicate that song which I helped write for George Hill and Kimo Mitchell when they were declared lost in March of 1977. And I want to dedicate this song to two other Aloha Aina who recently passed on into Po. Very good friends of mine, Jiggy Sai and Euclid Aluli. I want to say something about these because they're not the only ones of our compatriots, of our Aloha Aina, who have been passing. I want to think about the gracefulness of their lives, their generosity, their intelligence, their aloha for one another, and their bravery. I want us to celebrate these individuals and all of the others we knew who passed on but lived lives in service to our lahui and to the principles and values of our nation. We can be grateful that they and we did not end our lives in a hail of bullets or bombs. Though that is not to say that our lives have not had to endure America's violent obsessions with wealth, power, and security. that we have not had to endure the same kind of occupation as Palestine is largely due to the example of Liliuokalani. But make no mistake, it is still an occupation. It is easy to imagine a very different history of our people if Liliu had made the decision to attack the insurgents across the street there and shoot at American troops if they stood in her way. I think we would look a lot like Gaza, and the deeply ingrained text of our lives would be hatred from one generation to the next. It took so much personal courage for the Queen to deliver herself up to the traitors and the invaders, rather than commit this nation to a future of bloodshed. It is a courage that almost no other political leader can match or even understand. And it looks a lot like the courage of our Aloha Aina, our patriots, who lived their lives in defiance of America, but deeply in love with and committed to our people. The Queen, in that moment of decision, 131 years ago, gave us life and a choice. And I believe that the kind of people we have become in this century, generous, intelligent, loving, and brave, are the core of the kind of humanity that must fight for this earth and for every oppressed living being on this planet. But no pressure. What else are we here for? We do not observe Onipa'a as a mere grievance. No, this is where we should gather, as we do for La Ho'iho'i'ea and La Ku'oko'a, to renew the ties with one another, to share the burdens and joys of the work we do for the Lahui, and to survey the landscape and ask and say to each other, what is the next task? What is my next kuleana? And I hope that that prospect gladdens and excites you, because I know deep in my soul that this is what Liliuokalani had in mind for us, that we would unify, not around the government perhaps, but around our love for the Aina, and that we would be faithful to each other as we were faithful and loyal to her, that we would work together to restore our nation. Isn't that what we have seen these past 50 years, that we have done this work together? Even when we disagree over things like federal recognition or telescopes, we would still give the shirts off our backs for one another. Is that not who we have become? I know that we do not agree on everything, and there are some things that I could say from this stage that would make some of you uncomfortable, like free Palestine. Yet how can we demand our freedom from the Americans without acknowledging that other peoples in the world deserve their release from occupation as much as we do? West Papua, Guam, Puerto Rico, Rapa Nui, Tahiti, and Gaza. And how can we feel anything but sorrow for how much suffering has been unleashed in that land? The tens of thousands of men, women, and children sacrificed to a warfare that is situated in Palestine, in Palestinian grievance and Israeli fears and insecurities. And how do we Hawaiians, who lost our government, lands, control of our education, use of our language, and our prosperity for more than a century, how do we demonstrate to the world that this, what we have done, is a better path? Unless we speak up more loudly for the oppressed and dispossessed as we work to recover those things that were taken and strengthen ourselves? How do we demonstrate the uselessness of military and police power that creates hatreds and retribution over generations unless we can demonstrate how to live productive and generous lives without them? I want to close by simply saying, all of those people whose names I could mention, if only I wasn't so old and I kept forgetting names, they lived their lives for each other and for you. They loved you. They loved each other. We are a nation of love, of aloha. We will always be that. Thanks to her incredibly generous modeling of right behavior. And so long as we continue to do that generation after generation. Mahalo nui loa.
Mahalo, Dr. Osorio. You know, to be here today, to be able to listen to these words, I hope you folks are internalizing it, because I am. Like I said, today I came as a Haumana,